is the brightest light in the history of lights. What? All right. Hello, my pedigree chums. All right. What? There you go. All right. When everyone decides to get on, I am ready to go. And I'm just gonna. I wish I brought. What's up, guys? What up, Eric? Hey, I saw your message, Eric. I was traveling when you messaged me. Message me again. Send me a text, and we'll make it happen. Any questions you guys have, ask them right away. If you guys remember, I don't know how many of you guys right now that are watching are OG Johnny Shreve subscribers, because if you are, you would know this place very well. But yeah, magic happened in this place. Anyway, so you guys get questions, that'll let me know. Let's ask them, and I'll do my best to answer all of them. I'll do my best. But while I'm waiting, I got some biceps to do. So, and we will. What's up, guys? Good to see everybody. Cool. Yeah, it's also my daughter's birthday today. So if you call me after this, Eric, I'll be good. But 5 o'clock Atlantic time, I'm gonna be busy with the kiddo, running around playing. So, all right. When you guys got questions, you let me know. But until then, I am going to lower this light because that's right in my eye. Jeez. What up? What up? Your birthday today too? We got some Leos in the house. Is it true? Is it true what they say about Leos? Are Leos crazy? From Africa. So what's up? Your daughters. Cool. Yeah, and you know what's up, man. You know what's up. All right, cool. My question is, I know you talked about high intensity and high fatigue. The bent over dumbbell row when using a bench, does that eliminate the? So chest support for sure is going to take away that. Is going to lower the stimulus to fatigue ratio for sure. So when you're bent over, obviously, what's going to basically make it harder is keeping yourself like this. And the more weight you have, the more your lower back, your glutes and hamstrings have to really brace. Now we have, the bench here, it does take that away. So your only limiting factor at that point will be like basically your grip, and then you can just eliminate that by just using straps. So yeah, 100%. Great question. What's up? Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Our 200 push-ups, 200 bodyweight squats, and 200 dips 5 days a week good for your body? The biggest thing is basically like recovery, right? I would say for somebody, there's two answers to this. The person that's just starting off in their fitness journey, doing that is gonna be way too much for them. For someone like yourself who's probably doing this for a bit, and you can handle 200 push-ups and whatnot, I would say the biggest thing is making sure you recover. Doing it every single day, I would say something about that, but I'm literally gonna do a challenge of doing 100 push-ups every single day for 30 days and see what happens. I'm literally gonna do a video on that. So I'm gonna try it out, but like I said, recovery is gonna be the biggest thing. So as long as you're doing what you need to do with recovery, which is the main topic, or I would say the title of my video, is basically these two things are free and they're gonna help with recovery and muscle growth immensely, and that is basically sleep and water. So as long as you're getting enough sleep, enough water, 8 ounces a day of water, just try that. And then, getting as much rest and sleep as you possibly can is gonna help you gain muscle and recover properly. Yes, Leos are high, strong, and selfish. Yeah, I don't say my girl's selfish, but I think she just likes a lot of stuff. She's an only child too, so she's spoiled. Mari, that's our fault. This guy looks like I show speed. That's right, but if I show speed would work out, stop yapping his mouth. Yeah, nice. Happy birthday, Kat. I'll tell her, man. I appreciate it. I'm a Cancer too, July 12th, man. Bro, thank you for the negatives on the bicep incline curls. Yes, those are certainly, they are just an ego killer. And they're just an unbelievable way to help build more muscle, create high tension. I love doing those. I'm 41. I'm 41 years old. I know I got lighting on here and stuff, but I don't got wrinkles, and I can do one of these things. There's my crow's feet. People talk about crow's feet, and do I have lines in the head yet? I don't. I got normal stuff here. So, yeah, I'm 41. I'm 41 and I'm proud. So when you're younger and you're like, you want people to think you're older when you're in your 20s, and then when you're old, you want people to think you're younger. And then if you feel good, you look good, you take care of your body, you just want everyone to know your age. So, and that's what we're trying to do here, guys. We want to look as good and be healthy as long as we possibly can. I can replicate the movement of a chest-supported T-bar row using cables and a bench, 100%. Let me show you this right now, actually. It's one of my favorite exercises to do. So this is my home gym. The gym that I usually train in, or most of my videos that you see another red room, basically. That is my client's place. We built a gym on the property, great place, whatnot, but the cable system we have has the middle cable, which makes it easier. But if you don't have that, what you can do is a little something like this, basically like that. You guys can actually see what I'm doing here. My bad. So I gotta show you guys a setup you can do. All right, so right here. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm gonna take this cable here. Two ways we can do this. We can grab the handles. And I've Jimmy rigged a couple things up so I can get a little more length in some things. So I have a chain here. But what we're gonna do is we're basically gonna take the cable here. You take your two handles, put them at the bottom, right? Your two D handles like this. And then depending on how you wanna do this, a couple ways you can do this. You can do it like this, right? And basically you're gonna lean over from here. And from here we can pull and we can get all the way in. Now you can see that there's a little bit of an issue here when it comes to how much range you'll get, because again, the bench gets in the way. But you can see I'm still getting great full range of motion, right? So we don't have to go any further than this, but I would like to clear it a little bit. So that's why I would have, basically this. I would attach this onto the cable itself, right? And then I'll attach these two handles to the cable, to the D handles right here, which will give me a lot more depth, a lot more range to pull. Free range, not having to worry about this getting in the way. You can do it this way. You can do them one arm. I love doing them one arm. I'll do them this way just because I'm here, but love doing these, right? So, and this is how you make cables just epic for mostly everything. Right, so yeah, you can kind of see I'm sitting basically like this. Let me just put it, I'll put another angle. I'm sitting like this, guys. I'm gonna cheat the bench over a bit, give myself some leverage on this side. I might put my foot back this way or this way. If I want to get, say clear my leg, I'll put it back. But from here, basically we have hand here for some leverage, keep myself upright, and then letting the weight pull me, right? Now again, when I'm doing this, I want to make sure that I have space. This is a really great tip from Mike Van Wyck. Shout out to Mike. Great tip is you want space between your shoulder and your ear. You want to be like this. Too many guys are doing this stuff, and right away we have trap, right? We want to have this thing as low as we can, letting the cable pull us low, stretching from here, and then pulling and keeping your chest up, right? Nice reach and pull from here. And you do the same thing, pulling weight at the top. Same thing here, same idea. So I'm up here, from here now, right? And pulling, and we want to keep this posture like this. We don't want to do this whole crouch down thing, this crunch. Because the reason why we don't want to do a crunch is because the way our lats sit on our body and our obliques, we can really mistake oblique work with lat work. So what I mean is, if I want my lats to do all of the work, I want to stay upright from here and pull. I can cheat this way a bit too, and get a little bit of rotation there, which is fine. But I definitely want to keep myself up. I don't want to scrunch myself down, right? I want to be here and pulling down and keep myself up, stretch and pulling down and maintaining that space between the ear, whether you're coming from high to low or low to high. Will that help, guys? Do you know ling and draw? I forget exactly what SARM that is, but I'm pretty sure LD, was it L? I forget what it is, but I have used it before. I haven't touched stuff in a long ass time. I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about. Question 46 on Lexmol. Can't take creatine or anything stronger. Aside from protein, per doc, what do you do to maintain size? So the big thing, a massive thing, okay? When it comes to, sustaining muscle, building muscle, like I said, in the title, water is free and rest is free. People don't realize how much they overlook that and how much those two things have a massive say in how much muscle you can grow. If we're not doing those two things, a majority of our body is water. Muscle, I think 6% of it is water, basically, right? And all the things in terms of chemical reactions that happen in our body, that needs water. Water is a catalyst. So water and, sleep. Those things are the obvious that they should be obvious. But again, when it comes to actually keeping muscle on, creatine, supplements, anything, creatine, steroids, whatever it is, anything that's going to aid muscle growing more, the core of that is going to be your diet, your nutrition. So the reason why, for a bit, I was able to sustain the weight I was is because I was eating the right amount of protein for that weight that I was trying to stay in terms of holding up muscle. When I want to purposely lose muscle and weight, I had to decrease my overall calories, but more so my protein. I purposely wanted to lose muscle because I don't want as much muscle as I had before. I weigh 210, 11 pounds. I got a scale here I can show you guys after. But when it comes to sustaining muscle, your nutrition is going to be your biggest thing. What's some other things you can do just naturally that you have? But just your protein, man. 1 grams of protein per body weight. You get that in there. Calories, enough calories, and then again, sleep, water are going to be your huge advocates of you being able to sustain the muscle that you want, or even just build muscle. Hey Prince, how you doing? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I think you meant Prince, but not even Prince, maybe King. I don't know. Did you just say 8 ounces a day? Yes. You can. I'm from Canada, so you can do a gallon, if that makes it easy, or 4 liters. Sorry, a gallon would be American. I try to say you know what? If you can get 4 liters or a gallon a day, get that and you're fine. Funnier than speed, bro. Appreciate it. I kind of find them kind of noxious a bit. Give me a sec, guys. I am hot in here. Give me a minute. Toasty. You got this big light. All right. Not here today, man. I'm on the low though. I'm on the solo today. Speed from the good. All right. Okay, last question for older age 38. Ain't that old, but yeah. Would pill supplements do the same as consuming actual omega-3 and fiber? So here's the difference between the difference when it's the same thing when it comes to protein drinks, right? The difference is your body breaking the actual thing down itself, right? So when it comes to you eating, say salmon, right, and then having just omega-3 fat, pills. Well, salmon is going to give you the omega plus all the other things like protein, all the other rich nutrients that salmon's going to have. Omega is going to have just the omega. When it comes to fiber drink fiber powder is going to bypass that breaking down of the actual food, where it's basically kind of almost broken down for you. So that's the only difference is basically like your body breaking the things down and then what it actually comes with in terms of like the extra that the actual food will have. I'm 41, we're more like 30. That's what I'm saying, man. Like 40 is a new 30, 20 is a new teens. I shouldn't say that because that's, pause, let me just not say that. I started 2 weeks ago. It's fun. I tried to add 200 sit-ups. Nice. I hurt my lower back a little bit. I added toe touches. Cool. Yeah, take your time with those things. Like it's good to do, calisthenic work. But again, like it doesn't matter what you're doing as long as we're recovering. That's the most important thing. I gotta answer that. Shoot. 1 minute here. Sorry, guys. My man got a gym. That's it. When the guest people stay here, they sleep in the squat rack. I'm gonna buy gym equipment for my apartment instead of having membership. If you like, here, let me give you guys an idea of what this place looks like. This is a regular. Don't worry, guys. I tried to actually, a man's trying to do some work here because the holes in the wall. I tried to, put these things out. I tried to do things quick and then they end up being a little crooked, but don't worry about that. Either way, here's my setup. This is a basic, smaller guest room. And I got a bag in there. I have the squat rack. Then I have my weights. And then I have my corner, 2-tower pulley system. And then here I have, a landmine. And then you guys probably saw the dumbbell rack right here. So like very basic stuff. And like, to be honest, all the things I have in here right now, I can use. I don't need much more than this, to be honest. Gyms spoil us. If you can get like the basics like this in here, and this was some of the stuff I got pre-pandemic, so it wasn't like overly expensive, but to be honest, like this entire thing, I would say was under $5,000, everything in here. You just gotta be, on that Facebook marketplace and just kill it. Hey Johnny, my chest, Hey Johnny, my chest is bigger than other body parts. So I'm skipping my chest workouts to match with the other body parts. My question is, can skip chest for a while? Can you skip chest for a while? Here's the thing when it comes to chest, if, I don't know what your training split looks like, but if your training split's like, say if you have 6 days a week and you have a day where you can do chest, do your chest, it's totally fine. But if you need like, say your shoulders to grow more, then give more love to your shoulders and then have, minimal chest in your shoulder day. So my shoulder day, because my chest is priority for me, it used to, but it still basically is. My chest day will basically look like this. My shoulder day, sorry. My shoulder day will start off, and if we're gonna talk just like, bench wise, it'll be this. It'll start off with, if I'm doing, shoulders is gonna be a high incline for me. It'll be like this. This will be my shoulder incline. And then I'll do, another pressing, and then my other press will be something like this, or down to your actual 30. So I'll start and my shoulder will be a very high incline so I can still hit my upper chest. So same thing you can do with your chest. If your shoulders are obviously your target area and your chest is basically developed, like lucky you, I would say, keep chest in there because you still want to have a strong chest, right? It's we sometimes think about training in more so of just like shape and symmetry, which is fine and all, but we also want to make sure that we have a good balance or even distribution of strength, right? You don't want to have an overly weak chest. Like even though you got people who have genetically gifted chests, they have nice big chests, but they're weak chests, right? So don't think size means strength. We want to make sure that we're strong in the chest, strong in the shoulders, strong in our back. We want to be able to have, be basically balanced in strength overall. So that'd be my only tip there. Don't skip chest. Don't ever skip chest. Bro, I've been trying to do that properly. Whatever that was, go back, I'll let you know. Just a body squat, bro. They work a lot. I promise, don't skip chest. Everyone's like, don't skip chest. Which people say that about like legs. Don't skip legs. Does the sauna help with muscle growth? No. Here's what helps with muscle growth. Recovery, water, I'll go in order. Muscle growth is stimulus to training the actual muscle itself. Protein actually help grow the muscle, repair the muscle. Calories to actually give you energy so that muscle can actually grow. And then water and sleep. Those are the things that help with building muscle. Do those things. If you're doing those, like here's the thing, when I talk about, like, keep it fucking simple. Sorry for the French guys. Keep it simple, guys. Like, we're overcomplicating a lot of things. Before we go to the saunas and the red light and the cold plunges and all the other things, we have to master those things first, because those are going to be the base and roots of your foundation of everything. And when you can have that foundation set, then yeah, go do the other things. Go have at it. But if you're not doing these things and thinking that the saunas or the red light or the cold plunges or whatever it is going to make up for what this isn't doing, you're sadly mistaken. So, get those things done first. Question, do I cream? I don't have a creamy. I might get one, but I'm not really hard dieting anymore. So I feel like there's really no need for me to get, I used to get a bunch of those, I got a ton of food, processors and all the food things you get for making things, so I sound like an idiot. I got Ninja, I got the air fryer, I got a meat grinder, I got a hot plate for making pancakes. I got a bunch of stuff. So, but it was for like dieting, and I'm not really hard dieting anymore. So no, I don't cream. Tips on rear delt workouts. Cool. Exercises. Rear delt exercises. Okay. Here's a tip. If I was going to pick an exercise that would, maybe I should probably put myself over here. If I was going to pick an exercise that was going to have the best bang for its buck for rear delts, for me it would be cables, either rear delt flies or face pulls. But I like also doing single arm rear delts, and I like doing them with the cable without the handle. And there's a couple ways you can do it. Right, so I like, if you look right now, like if you watch right now, I'm gonna grab the handle right this way, and I'm gonna put it in a way where there's already, like I'm turning into my body. So right now, my arms are crossed, and there's already a lot of tension. You can see my rear delt is kind of like firing off right now. So a couple ways we can do this. I'm gonna pull this out and push it out, or I'm gonna pull it down. If I want a greater contraction at the peak, shortening of my rear delt, pulling it down is gonna give you just that. But if you wanna have a great stretch, having it come across the body and stretching, and then pulling out, right? Don't think about pulling it back like this. Think about like my hand is, I'll do it like this. I like pushing my finger out like this to show people what I'm doing. But I'm pushing my hand, my arm away. You see my rear delt is engaged. So I'm pushing away when I'm pulling. I'm not just pulling back. When we get a pull back, we get the traps in, the rhomboids and all and whatnot. So from here, I like pushing out and then easing back into it, letting it slowly come back and stretch and then push out and then stretch like this. If you want to add a little more weight and make it a little easier, we can bend the arm and just move from the elbow and just pull from this way if it's a little harder for you doing a straight arm. You're just shortening the lever and making that much easier, but you're still working the rear delt. If you don't have a cable, then honestly, bent over rear delt flies are great to do, right? So, give you guys an idea. And the big mistake when we're doing these is just adding too much weight, right? I'm gonna grab these 15s right here because it's such a small muscle, right? I'm gonna grab the 15s, and I know we talk about like, there's not much going on gravity-wise right now. I don't know if there you go. So right now, there's nothing happening. And the only thing really happening is gonna happen when I'm pulling my arms out, which is fine. So we can get good reps in pulling out. If I wanna like really make the contraction harder, I'm gonna pull out a little higher, like a little more of like a Y and not a T, right? And the further away you go from midline is basically your core. Think about midline being like your waist. The further away you go from your waist, the harder everything is going to be. So if I do a fly like this, it's gonna be easier. I can do more weight. But if I start going a little further away, further away, further away, it gets increasingly harder. So I'm getting that range from here, and then just getting a weight where I can just float and really feel my rear delts pulling the weight up, right? You can see right now that my scap isn't, my scaps aren't pinching together. They stay open while I'm pulling out, and that keeps the tension on the rear delts the entire time. So try to give that a try. Let me know how it goes. Genius, cheap info. There you go. All right, what's your cycle, please? Spicy? I'm not on anything. I'm on 0 cycle. I've been off of gear. Here it goes. I've been off of steroids, SARMs, peptides, prohormones, growth hormone, all things that can increase my muscle. I'm off. Been off since 2021 October. So I'm not on anything, guys, at all. This is 8 years of steroid use prior and very good genetics. I am very genetically gifted, 100%. I've looked like this my entire life almost. There's a picture I'll actually post it. There's a picture I have of me when I was 21, and I look basically the same. Pull-ups for rear delts. Pull-ups for rear delts isn't a bad idea, but as long as we're, a little wider, we can, and then how you pull is gonna make a difference as well too. I'm not a fan of doing pull-ups for rear delts, but you are gonna get some rear delt activation. But when we're pulling, right, if you see when I'm pulling up, I'm pulling, what's gonna really pull me is basically my lats, my forearm bicep basically, is helping me come up. So when it comes to rear delt, yeah, they're working a bit, but rear delts are gonna do a lot better job pulling myself back like this and not pulling my arm down like this. So if you're gonna do a back exercise for your rear delts, it'll be better to do almost like a high row, putting the cables higher like this. If I had, actually, no, I'll do this. So if I was gonna do rear delts with a back exercise, it will be something like, you guys can see, perfect, all right. It'll be something like, it'll be something more like this. So I'd be this way, and I'd be pulling like this, right? So, but we can't necessarily achieve this when we're doing actual pull-ups, because gravity just doesn't work that well for us. So if you're gonna do anything for your delts, your rear delts in a pulling motion, it'll be a high to low, or it can be even just like, neutral as well too, or neutral, or just at shoulder height, but pulling and flaring your elbows and pulling them out like this. And you would get some rear delts in there. You can do the same thing, lowering it like this as well too, and then pulling it out like this. Sorry guys. And a whole lot of loaded anabolics. I did when I was younger. I did definitely for sure. When I got into bodybuilding, man, when I got into bodybuilding, guys, I knew that steroids were involved, and I was like, I'm gonna level the playing field. That's the only reason why I did it. And damn well, I was like very curious to see what my body would do with it. 210, damn, I remember 7th grade. Nice, all right. You remind me of young Michael Jackson. before he's messed up. I like you said young, because I'm not trying to be the old one. Greetings from Germany. Greetings, man. Appreciate you here. How do you know if I'm doing too much cardio? Currently split push-pull legs 7 days a week, 20 minutes of cardio. Not doing it. You're nowhere near doing too much cardio. Here's how you know you're doing too much cardio. If it's affecting your performance in terms of the gym. So when it comes to like goals, if I'm doing I prescribe to my brother an hour of cardio. My brother's 273 pounds and he's got to lose some fat. Is that too much cardio? And one of the questions I had before was like, is this too much cardio? And it's too much cardio when your body fat percentage is very low, right? And you're doing excessive amounts of cardio. Let's say my body fat's 5%, and I'm doing an hour of cardio and I'm in a deficit. Yes, it's gonna be too much because then I can't perform. Even if you're 8% body fat. But the point is that it becomes too much cardio when it starts to affect your performance in the gym, or just like your overall ability to gain muscle. So you will start losing muscle if you do too much cardio, if your body fat percentage is too low and you're not eating enough calories. But if you're eating enough calories and eating enough protein and you're only doing 20 minutes of cardio, dude, like you say if you're 15, you're not even close. You're fine. What I like to know is how much you say you're 145 pounds. I like to know what you think your body fat percentage is, because that would kind of help out too. But 20 minutes of cardio is like not a lot. Like it's not even close. So you're good. Bless you, sir. I'm at 93 kilos. Nice. Great advice. We'll bump it up. Awesome. Keep it up, man. Keep working. MK677 option. I've used it before. For me, I didn't like it. Because, well, in hindsight now, this is why I didn't like it. It made me feel really, really watery. Yeah, I packed on size because it just made you hungry, and it would just make me more watery too. So I just didn't like it. I was also doing anabolics with it too. So I was using that instead of like growth hormone, and I found that I got better results as in getting more size with MK677. But again, when it came down to it, it almost made me uncontrollably hungry and watery, and I just hated a watery look. So that's the only thing. Some people can do MK677 and have no water at all. Some people if you're like a hard gainer kind of guy who's like, you just are naturally hard to put on weight, your family is fairly small, like skinny, whatnot, option wise, it's gonna be beneficial for that person. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be using that if I already had size or didn't have a problem putting on weight. Got any good tips on Simply Improved Diet? Simply Improved Diet. Okay, here's a couple things you can do to simply improve your diet. Number one, don't try and change everything at once, period. Like, it's not gonna happen. If you're just starting your journey in your diet and you're starting to diet, you need to just change one thing. And like your first thing you're gonna do is just gonna eliminate, like if you did the whole, just like, I'm gonna just start brand new and I'm gonna live a perfectly healthy life and I'm gonna 7 days a week, I'm gonna do this, it's not gonna work. Start off by getting out the obvious foods that are junk, right? If you're eating, everybody knows obvious junk food. I'm an Oreo addict. I'm gonna be honest. I say elusive is funny about it, but like, I love Oreos. I really do. If I was overweight and trying to lose weight, Oreos would be 100% the thing I have to cut, because I know that thing is basically junk. So start off by first getting out that stuff first, and then also drinking water. Because most people, when they start diets, the reason why they're really hungry most of the time when they're on a diet is because they're not drinking enough water. So I don't know if you guys seen, there's a meme or there's a short of a guy talking about, he's got a bottle, you guys might have seen it, but he's got like a jar, a big mason jar, and he puts marbles in it first, and he's like, is it full? And it was full of marbles, and they're like, no, not yet. And then he puts in, I think, a little more like smaller marbles, like, is it full now? He's like, no. Then he dumps sand in it, and the sand fills up, where the marbles can't fill, the space marbles can't fill up. And he's like, is it full now? They're like, yes. He's like, no. Then he takes water and pours the water in, and the water fills all the spaces. Think of that as like your stomach when you're dieting. When you're dieting, or just food in general. If you're trying to, your biggest diet hack is just getting your fuel in. Again, getting your hydration in. And it's free. Like water is completely free. So when you drink, unless you buy it, but regardless, you know what I'm saying? Water is going to be that thing that's going to help basically fill you up and keep your hunger at bay. So number one, get rid of the stuff that you obviously know is junk first. Make that the habit. You've cut that stuff out, it's now gone. If you're like, I love my soda pops, cool, now you're gonna make it diet. And you're gonna do that, and that's where you're gonna start. When that becomes a habit, you've done that and you're drinking water, that's a habit. Then the next thing you're gonna do is, okay, now that stuff is done, you're gonna move on to the next thing, right? You try one behavioral change at a time, or a couple at a time, that you know that you can, that will make a big difference, and go from there. Don't try and change everything at once, it's not gonna happen. Now, once you made that change, you're actually doing really well with things, and you're like, man, I need to stay full, not so hungry all the time. Eat a lot of fiber, right? If you're a male, 35 grams of fiber, work your way up to that. If you start doing that right away, it's gonna be a problem with you. If you're a woman, 25 grams. And then, increase your protein, your fats. A lot of people when they're dieting, they're trying to save, they're trying to make room, for their calories. So if they're tracking calories, counting calories, they'll see fats as, fats are 9 calories per 1 gram. So if I reduce my fats, I can get more carbs. Only thing with carbs is carbs is our main source of fuel our body wants to use. So your body's gonna use like carbs all of the time. Where if you use fats, if you increase your fats, it's gonna keep your body, your hunger levels lower, more satiated, blood sugar a little lower as well too, and then your protein as well too. And both of those protein and fats has a higher thermic effect of food. So it takes longer to break down fats and proteins and fiber than just carbs. So make sure you're eating 100 grams of protein, 35 grams of fiber for a male, 25 grams of fiber for a woman, and then 20 to 30% of your caloric intake should be from fats. It's simple as shit. Like no heckle to any of the science guys out there, the evidence proof, but we don't need so much of that for the most basic things. Right? Let your body do the science stuff. Your body is a genius. It'll do all the things that you have no clue how it happens. All you have to do is control the basic things. Food-wise, it's what you put in your mouth, literally. Your body will do the rest. When it comes to training, it's consistency and effort all of the time. Effort, consistency, and your body will do the rest. Sleep, your body will do the rest. Like going to sleep is easy. You go to bed, you sleep, and then your body does all of these amazing things that you don't have to worry about, right? So let your body do the science, you do the basic shit. Master the basics. Farmer walk benefits. Yeah, so farmer walk benefits is like, here's the thing when it comes to farmer walk benefits. If you're training to be better at farmer carries, then yes, it's beneficial for that. If you're trying to increase, your trap and grip strength, that helps as well too, because again, doing farmer carries, your traps are in a nice stretch when you're holding it, right? So you're basically here, and grip. It does help with like a little bit of proprioception in terms of like, balance on both sides. But like if you're using that for like if that's what you're using as like a main, tool for hypertrophy, there's other exercises you can do for that. But again, like they're gonna get benefits from that anyway. So like if you're using it for something to help you stay stronger base, stronger core, just overall, just strong. Those are great to do, right? That's the only way I would use those is to kind of give myself, work my way into being like a dominant force, from head to toe. Appreciate it, man. Trying. Any tips about the raw eggs? Any tips with raw eggs? Cook them. I hate raw eggs. Cook them damn eggs. Cook them. Scrambled, over easy, sunny side up. You can make them into, you can put them in things. French toast, just cook them. What up, bro? Looking good. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Great tips and advice. So really appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming. I love doing these. They're fun. Speed on steroids. I'm not on steroids, so no, but I was before. But just to say, I'm just a better version of speed, or maybe speed. Maybe speed is the younger, annoying, less muscle version of me. Maybe another timeline. That's Johnny Shreve another timeline is I show speed. I don't know. Hit him up. Uh, oh, we may get to see Johnny Box. Not today, Kim. Eventually. I train at the basic gym and use spider cords at home style. Okay, cool. I don't know what that really means, but I'll kind of go over that again. Any advice for an ectomorph? I think I might have answered that question earlier when I was talking about eat. You got to eat and be consistent with it, and don't try to overeat. I think the biggest problem with when people like with ectomorphs is that, you know, I can't put on muscle or weight as fast, so I'm gonna overeat as much as I can. Cause I get that all the time. Like, Johnny, I get hard to put on muscle. I'm eating like thousands of calories and I can't. There's a lot of things that I find that are very consistent with all body types, and that is playing against their ability to gain muscle. And that is like, look, if you're an ectomorph and you're not sleeping properly, like, you can't afford to not do the things that you need to do to be able to build muscle. So like, if you're eating 1 grams of protein per body weight, great. If you're eating enough calories, great. If you're not sleeping and drinking enough water, start doing those things. But the biggest thing is like just being patient with it and having I think that really having a more realistic, you know, physique goal will help out. Like, for the ectomorph being like, man, I want to put on 30 pounds of muscle naturally, it's like, it's not going to happen. But like, why isn't 10 pounds of muscle good? If you're like, say you say you're 5 foot, you're 5'11" and you're 150 pounds and you're ripped, right? And you're like, man, I want to be bigger. 10 more pounds of lean muscle tissue is very achievable and is a massive difference. So I think having a better overall realistic goal will make it easier for you to achieve, but like also on your mental, right? There's my advice for that. Could not do reverse flies today because the machine station was taken and I did shrugs instead. Is that a good replacement? So reverse flies and shrugs are different exercises. So here's the difference. Remember, we're talking about, like, this is talk shrugs, talk traps. Traps are all shrugs. So our traps are gonna do this, they're gonna do this, and they're gonna do this as well too. The rear delt moves this shoulder back. It does shoulder adduction, right? Sorry, abduction. Adduction is chest, right? Abduction is chest. Adduction, sorry, adding ADD is chest. ABD is rear delts and rhomboids and whatnot. So if you don't have the machine or station, I would have done bent over dumbbell rear delt flies, chest supported rear delt flies. Those are the only things, basically options you kind of have at that point. Where's some other cool ones you can do? There's some other ones, but no, worry about that after. We'll talk on Saturday in the meeting. Kim's part of my school community, guys. So every week we do Q&As. So if you guys are interested, guys, go to my link description below to our school community. It's $25 a month, and you get all assets that I create, all my ebooks, all my push-pull legs, my training splits, and all of the things that are coming as well too. $20 a month, and then we do our weekly Q&As that are 100% beneficial. Do you wish you went to school? I did go to school. I got my degree. I have a double concentration in criminology and sociology. So yeah, I went to school. I went long. You know what I mean? Did the whole university thing, right? Question: I feel DOMs in my hamstrings, glutes areas the day after. Is that an area of weak, likely? No. So here's funny thing you say that. Right now, my hamstrings I have crazy DOMs. I took a week off of training. I took a week off of training. I went home for a little vacation with the fam and didn't train legs. Yesterday, we trained legs. I did hamstring curls and some of my physio stuff, and my hamstrings are on fire. Like, they hurt. That is a good thing. DOMs are not a bad thing. DOMs are a good thing. DOMs is like usually a good show, a good sign of like there is growth happening. But even though if you don't have DOMs happen, it doesn't mean that you're not having any growth. It just means your body's adapted to that stimulus. So that's a good thing. Beginner leg workout suggestions. Beginner leg workout suggestions. All right, cool. So I would say if you're in a gym, leg extensions, hamstring curls, goblet squats. I say goblet squats because goblet squats are a good way to start because it's going to help keep your body, your posture natural. So when we're doing like, back squats, most of the time when people do back squats, it's when it comes to mobility and shoulder mobility, hip mobility, we end up getting a lot of bending and whatnot. When we're doing like goblet squats like this, then we can have like being in this position here, we get to have this nice straight like flat back or neutral spine when we're doing it. At the same time we're working our legs, we're also working our torso, our posture in terms of like our lats, our core, all things, our rectors are keeping our back nice and straight and strong. So when you do go from, you get stronger at this and you progressive overload from here, moving into like say like a back squat or a front squat or even machine, the strength carryover that is that much greater. So do those three, just those basics. And I would say like for sure, like adding in a walking lunge, reverse, front foot elevated reverse lunge, or just a reverse lunge, and you're fine. Then work your way into doing like, some more hinge work in terms of like Romanian deadlifts, good mornings. I call the police now. Cool. So say you're doing a PPL split on push day. How many exercises do you do per muscle group? So I've done this video before and I like how these questions are coming up because I'm doing another video on it. 3 to 12 hard sets per muscle group in a day. If you're training just one muscle group, 1 to 5 sets. So if you're doing chest, right? And I did a incline press, a machine press, and a fly. There's 4 sets of each, there's 12 sets. Or I can do just 3 sets of each, there's 9. You're still in that range, right? I can do, say, 2 exercises. Maybe I do like a fly and a chest press. I can do, 4 of each and I'm completely fine, right? So just think of that spot of like 3 to 12 hard sets. If you're like a beginner, doing 12 sets might be a little more, might be better for you, like getting the end range of that. And if you're like not a beginner like myself, I can get away with doing like, the lower range, like those, 4 or 5 sets total, right? In a day. Are protein powders with 80 grams of protein good or bad? There's a couple studies and some really good nutritional influencers like Lane Norton. I'm pretty sure even Dr. Mike has said this too, that there isn't really a correlation of high ingestion of protein being negative onto your body. So my thing is like, is there a reason why we're doing 80 grams of protein, right? Like, we can always, it's almost like, we can spread the protein out, right? If you're trying to like get everything in, understand like the body can only absorb protein, a few grams of protein per hour, right? So it's not a few grams, but it's still more than that. I'm just really just saying, a roundabout number. But can we not break that protein up? Like maybe have 40 grams then and then another 40 grams later. You know what I mean? So is it bad? No, but I don't think it's necessary to have 80 grams in one sitting. I don't think it's bad. Like you're not going to be, you're not going to go to the hospital because you have like, problems. Now I would say if you're eating that much protein at once, I would make sure we're drinking water. Muscles, thanks. With love, I pray for you in Jesus' name. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Keep praying for me. Make the oh yeah noise every rep. I'm good. You look like the Predator. The Predator's ugly, yo. What do you mean? Like from the back? Because the Predator got that weird face and he's got the claws out and stuff. Like, where's the like button? I don't know. Is there a like button here? There should be. Is there a button on the side you can press? Guys, is there a button on the side where you can like hit a heart button, or is there a like button? I haven't seen no like buttons on this thing. Maybe they took it down. They may have taken it down. Maybe. Or dislike button. I don't know. You know how people are these days. People are sensitive. You can't put like buttons or see how much, subscribers you're getting or all that stuff. Like, whatever. Visualize and think about the muscle you're working and not just pull 100%. Great tip. This is literally the only worthwhile stream of all on YouTube. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. It really does. Hey, Johnny, I'm dealing with a sprained AC joint. Oh, I know that feels. I did that. I tore it, secondary tear back in the day. It sucks. Do you have any tips on exercise I can try to repair the range of motion? So I'm going to assume that you've done all things first, like going to physio and getting it checked to make sure that it's not worse than it is. If you have, then we're doing things to help with the full range of motion. So for me, the AC on my right side actually was partially torn. Shitty story is I was playing football, I was playing running back, whatever, ran out, did a hook, turned around, my quarterback didn't look me off, he looked me straight in the eye, and I remember watching him like, you idiot, and it's like this, and I just heard the linebacker just eye me up and then right in the back of the shoulder, popped it out, settled the ball, played the rest of the game like this in the backfield. One of the other running backs quit. It was like really annoying. Because of that, that was like 20 years ago. When I train, especially when I do triceps, that's why this tricep is smaller than this side, my track takes over a lot because of my stability here. So a lot of things you have to do is making sure we're depressing the shoulder, getting a lot of like work from there, working your scap, like get a ball and, you know, either sit like a lacrosse ball or something where you can, you know, go onto the wall or even on the ground and open it up. And then do things like shoulder cars. So shoulder cars like circular, articular rotations, whatever. Basically hand like this, thumb's gonna be pointed out, coming all the way to the top. When we get to the top, we're gonna flip that thumb to the outside and then reach back and coming back in to the thumb is in the front again like this. Doing those is really good. I would say doing like, you know, 3-4 sets of 5 reps. And then, where did my rubber bands go? That's what they are. And then some shoulder pass. So I like taking, you know, the rubber, the lightest red band. I don't know what colors mostly they are, but either way, the lightest band, holding it open like this. And then, again, I'm gonna use my fingers to point the direction because I wanna go over, but I wanna push my arms away. And then going all the way through and then coming all the way back like this. You can do shoulder openers, basically doing this from here and opening it and coming back up like this as well too. And then this is a fun one I like to do as well. Get a light weight, nothing heavy. A couple things to do is basically you're here on your bench, hinge back a bit, keep yourself engaged from here. Don't have yourself like this, but you know, active in the shoulder. And from here, you're gonna let your arm protract. So basically, you let your arm hang, right? Then we're going to retract. We're not gonna retract this way. We're gonna retract our scaps back, keeping that locked in. And then I'm gonna raise my arm on like a Y, keep my shoulder blades retracted, and then coming right back down, releasing, and then pulling again and doing that. That's a good one as well too. And then if you're on the ground, basically your knee's gonna be on the ground, your elbow's gonna be on your knee, and then basically take it like this, rotating down like this, slowly, lighter weight, and doing like that, and that'll help you out. But I've been injured a lot. Hey John, I've seen that already. Rear delts with a curl bar behind the knees. Yes, looks terrible, but it's a good exercise. It is, 100%. Funny, did I do a tier list on shoulders yet? I don't know. I think I just did a hamstring I did a hamstring and a bicep one yesterday. It's getting edited right now, and I'm gonna do the rest of those tier lists. So that is a good exercise. Same as you could do the same thing with dumbbells as well too. I don't know if you who's my man here saying that? Curl bar, my boy Bake. Yo Baker, what's up? So doing them like this works. This is good too. So like remember, we want to be in a nice like hinged position from here, and then doing the same thing. That's my cracking, right? Same idea. So good. I've done this as well too with cables. What's a cool way of doing with cables is that it gives you a better stretch of the bottom. So if I take the cables like this, let's see. So I'm not gonna put the handles on because I'm being lazy. But if you take the handles, the D handles, put them on, and basically go from here and stretch and out. You get a nice stretch from here and pull. Freaking awesome. It feels really good, especially when you have the actual D handles on and you're pulling. Nice stretch from the bottom, from here, stretch, and then pull. Great exercise. For the most, for post-workout, is the best to mix the protein with water, and what is the benefit of it? I normally mix the protein with cold water. You can mix with anything. The only difference will be how many calories are added from whatever you're mixing it with, to be honest. And then if you're mixing with milk that has more fat, it's gonna take longer to absorb because, so it's nothing, just don't overthink it. Mix it with whatever you wanna mix it with. If you mix it with water, you're not adding any calories. If you're mixing it with milk or oat milk or almond milk, you're just adding calories to it, which is fine. So just drink your protein, you're fine. Hello. Back exercise without a bench. Only have dumbbells and a dumbbell and dumbbell rows. The only exercise for back. No, so you don't have a bench? Or do you have a bench or you don't have a bench? Without a bench and only dumbbells. So we have rows are one. You can also do dumbbell pullovers as well too, on the ground. I'll literally do them on the ground for you right now. So your dumbbell, right? You can still do them this way. You can get a stretch and pull from here and back and stretch, and you can basically take it this way, to be honest, and going from here and all the way back and pulling up. You can do this way, and obviously with your rows as well too. But that's what you're gonna get really is, and there's nothing wrong with that, to be honest. When it comes down to it, if you have enough to progressive overload, you can do 2 exercises. You don't need to do 8,000 different exercises. Again, when you look at dumbbell pullovers, you're getting your lats obviously working right from this standpoint, and then you're doing your row, you're getting your lats. You're doing bent over rows, you're getting your lats, your rhomboids, your traps, your rear delts, right? So you basically tackled your entire back with 2 exercises. You don't really need more than 1 to 3 exercises for each muscle group. Yo, it's my B-Day. What's up, man? Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Publius the Supremius. Happy birthday, buddy. It's my daughter's birthday today too, so happy birthday. Have an absolutely amazing day, and just cherish this day because you know what? It's a good day, and you're alive. Believe me, man, we got a Polish guy at the gym, and he makes concrete dumbbells with spare concrete and a broken. Damn, that guy's hardcore. What about face pulls? Face pulls are great for adults, 100%. Best bicep exercise, the best one ever. It's very unbiased. I'm a preacher curl. I'm an Atlantis preacher curl machine. That is my favorite exercise. If I don't have the Atlantis preacher curl machine, I'm doing easy bar preacher curls. If I don't have an easy bar preacher curl, then I'm doing dumbbell incline curls. If I don't have that, so there's a lot, right? I would say the best dumbbell exercises are going to be one that's going to give you an amazing amount of stretch with great contraction and full range of motion, right? And however that is for most people, exercises are going to vary. This is my home gym, yes. This is my. Anyone who's been following me from way back, this is where I did my original. All my original videos were here. Back in the day, actually, when during the pandemic, probably just got canceled for saying that. Greg was my buddy family, right? We had to have back in the day, you had to have a family buddy that you can actually hang out with. Oh man, I can't believe how crazy the world was then. And he was my family buddy. So we trained in here every other day for the entire pandemic. And then that's when I had most of my videos were done in this room. So times have changed, man. Work biceps and triceps together. Is that okay? 100%. I just did a video yesterday on biceps and triceps one day. 100%. Great way to do it. Great for growth. Can you flip? I like doing a flip flop. Flip flop meaning doing bicep exercise, then doing tricep, then doing bicep, doing tricep, or vice versa. You can do it that way. Or if you want to, like, just get your bicep, done all at once, do your biceps first, then your triceps, but you can do it in one day completely fine. Rush, and just no clue that means. How to build abs. Train them, actually. Make sure that your pelvis is actually coming up and we want to make sure we're flexing our pelvis and flexing our core as well to our back, our spine. That's how you build abs. If you want to see them, we have to reduce our overall body fat and you'll see them. But like every other muscle, you'll see them better when they're trained because like muscles grow out, so do abs, right? Everybody has abs. Everybody has abs, just like everybody has biceps, everybody has triceps. How they're built, it's basically the same way. Time and attention, obviously a stimulus, training a hard stimulus, time and attention, feeding it, resting it. The UK deal, that's how people, yeah. I see a lot of that, man. A lot of people just like making it work, man. How much steroids did you use in one day? It's not important, but in one day, I don't know. I would say like in a week over a couple grams for sure. During I would say my peak as a open class IFBB pro. This guy right here is when I won Mr. Canada, and I was 230 pounds on stage, and that's a week after, and I only put on maybe about like 10 pounds in a week. So winning my pro card, that was definitely a lot, but that is no longer me. I'm now a shell of a man. Natural versus enhanced training, what's harder? What's harder? Natural, 100%. I can say that because here's the reason why I say that, and it's because I have experience. I trained natural until I was 28. When I was 28, I started a cycle for steroids for bodybuilding, and then I've been off for 3 years. So the difference is there's a extra gear, no pun intended, that you have when you train on. It's like if the best way I can describe it for those evidence-based guys and the bros, when you get to the end of your rep range, say you got 10 to 15 reps and you're coming close to failure, all of a sudden that boost, everyone has that I need to get that one more rep. The difference between that on steroids is you get another 5 or 10 reps. It's ridiculous. And then the recovery is it's not even on the same level. So the DOMs I'm feeling from yesterday's workout was literally my workout yesterday would be a warm up, what I was used to before when I was trained, really, really training, and never felt DOMs this bad. So yeah, it's harder. It's harder just because of that extra energy you don't have and the ability to recover fast. And it's also that grit too. If you have that grit in you, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. What do you think about the palms up pull downs for biceps? I am not a fan of using other primary exercises to target a secondary muscle for that primary exercise. What I mean by that is if I'm doing a pull-up, right? If I'm doing a pull-up, I'm working my lats. My biceps and my forearms are aiding me in that lift. I don't want to use this to train my biceps because a lot of times people are using way too much bicep than they are actually lats, and their form's kind of messed up. So palms being up, yes, you're going to use more biceps for sure, but I want to load this bicep through with something that's more targeted. And when I do pull-ups, my bad, sorry you guys can see that, but when I'm doing pull-ups, my biceps are very fresh at the end. They're fresh because I'm pulling with my lats. My lats are pulling. I'm not pulling my biceps in, right? My biceps are helping at the end, and I'm very tuned with my body, and I have really good control and muscle-mind connection that I can separate my biceps from working as much with my lats. Now, it's not like I just tapped my brain, I'm like, all right, biceps don't work. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when I'm training my lats, you can see just me doing this, I'm flexing my lats. So that is actually what I'm doing to pull myself up. I'm continuing that, and then my biceps are helping with that last part of the pull. So I'm not a huge fan of using primary exercises to work a secondary muscle group. They will help, but again, like I just want, if I'm going to do, supinated pull-ups, I want them to work my back. And if I want my biceps to get bigger, I'm going to train biceps. You know what I mean? What's your take on rubber bumper weights versus iron? Any benefits from either or no difference at all? To be honest, the only difference is that some might be a little bit heavier. Like if you're like at for instance, I was at Bev Francis' gym and their plates are actually 48 pounds. Some of their iron plates, they're a little heavier than some of their rubber plates. Or if you get calibrated plates are going to weigh a little bit more than your rubber plates. But for the most part, a 45 should weigh as much as a 45 should weigh. The biggest difference I notice is just sound. If I'm in the gym hearing clanking all around, like that's basically it. But when it comes to actually lifting, it makes no difference whatsoever. Your body doesn't know. And that's one thing you have to really understand when it comes to the grand scheme of things. You are conscious of this, right? You're conscious of this is a plate and it's rubber because you can feel it and because you can see it. Your body doesn't, your muscles don't feel a rubber plate or a iron plate. My body actually doesn't know the difference between this plate here or this kettlebell. All it knows is tension. It knows that right now I have tension in my arm, and the more that I do this, the more tension there is on this bicep. It has no clue at all what I'm actually picking up. Well, you do, right? A couple more questions, guys. Can bodybuilding help your strength for calisthenics? Bodybuilding as like the actual sport or the act of bodybuilding? Because bodybuilding is just hypertrophy, right? The only difference between like bodybuilding and people on stage is you're dieting and then pulling your body on stage. But for the most part, bodybuilding is just hypertrophy. So you're training, to increase your muscle size. What will happen to your calisthenics is that's going to make it sometimes harder. The more weight you put on. The reason why calisthenics is good and then eventually turns into something that you're going to have to progressive overload in terms of like adding weight is your body, right? As soon as your body is, if I can do 100 pull-ups, it's like I should probably start adding weight. But if I put on some size in my legs, it's going to make my pull-up that much harder, right? So that's basically, it can help out, but it's just going to make it a little harder because you're increasing muscle size, your range of motion. So make sure that you're keeping your mobility up and just staying strong. Hey, bro, in starting of my journey and didn't focus on my abdominal muscle, but my core is strong, but my abs are very small or don't. Can you suggest what to do? Okay, so you're telling me that you don't do, in your fitness journey, you don't do abs, but your abs are strong. And that's very common because if you're training properly, you should be using your abs anyway. But you should definitely train your abs, your core, because like every muscle, you train them. Now, if you want to see them more, you need to be in a deficit, or your body fat needs to be low enough to be able to see that. But when it comes to exercise-wise, anything where you're crunching down, like anything where like say like cable crunches from here, or you're lifting your lower extremities. I mean that by this. When you're doing say you're doing like Roman chairs or leg lifts or whatever it is, we want to not stop here. We want to come all the way to there, right? The biggest thing is making sure that our hips actually flex underneath and our spine flexes, and that's going to give us our contraction we need for our abs. And then doing that like 3 times a week, and you can progressive overload that. I would say do some cable curls, some cable crunches, and you can progressive overload on there, and then do some Roman chairs, candlesticks, and those work too. But if you want to see them, you got to be in a deficit. Can you still build muscle at 20%? Yes, you can build muscle at between 10 to 50% body fat. You can build muscle easily. And 10% and more, you can build muscle fairly easily. I shouldn't say fairly easily, but the environment to build muscle physically is 100% there. So 20% is like, yes. Yeah, sorry. Damn, I got a lot of questions that I missed. But guys, I'm coming all the way to the bottom. I'm going to read a few questions and then we'll get back. Guys, any of these questions that I did not answer, put them in the comment section to this actual video, and I will do a video on the question that you have. And if I see the same question, I'll literally do a video on that question as well, on those questions as well too. How much cardio is too much cardio when you want to build muscle? I am doing a full body every other day, 3 to 4 times a week cardio. So cardio is too much cardio when you're not eating enough food, when your calories aren't high enough to balance the energy that's going out. Remember guys, it is a calories in versus calories out thing. So if I need to build muscle and I'm in the gym and I'm eating 2,000 calories and I'm in the gym and I'm doing let's just be smart about it. I'm doing 1,000 calories of exercise and my cardio is say I'm doing like regular exercise, 200 calories, and then I'm doing like hours of cardio and I'm burning like 700 calories. I'm doing too much cardio, right? If I'm trying to build muscle, I want to make sure that I'm fueling myself enough. So that's only when you're doing too much cardio, is if you're doing way more than you're actually taking in. That helps. A couple more questions. I do weight training. I'm seeing lots of inches, but my weight is remaining the same. Is that because of weight training? Body recomp, right? So sometimes it's a good thing. A lot of times, like we tend to focus way too much on that singular thing, which is weight, right? That is our only variable of success or failure in a sense, right? We have to look at all things, right? So if my body weight isn't increasing or decreasing, but now my shirt up top here is tight in the chest and tight in the arms, but really loose in the stomach area, and or my pants, my waist is getting smaller, but like the glute area and my thighs are getting tighter, that's a good sign, right? So look at some, taking measurements is good. Taking measurements, looking in the mirror and the scale, feeling your clothes. Those are things that I get my clients to do, to be aware of, so they can have an understanding of where their progress is going. Now, the opposite can be the same thing. Like I'm not gaining any weight or losing any weight, but everything is starting to like feel the same way. Well, then we're not making any changes. We need to start making changes. Guys, that is it for Weight is That. Kayla, Johnny, always wanted to ask the shoes you're wearing for the gym. I guess I do wear Barefoot, the Vivo Barefoot shoes. Very good shoes to wear. I'm not sponsored by them. I just, at the age I'm at now, and just the more information that I get about, just having an overall better, healthier lifestyle, my feet are very important to me. I love running. I love jumping. I love swimming. I love doing a lot of things. And I want to make sure that I am healthy from the foundation, from floor to core. So that's it. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys coming again. Pause. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys joining me in my Q&A. If you want to get more of these guys, my school group, we do Q&As every Saturday, and I get to actually see your faces in the chat, which is awesome, and we can just go over these things there as well too, and get them more in depth and a little more intimate as well. So if you're interested in that, guys, I suggest that you head down, link in the description below, and hit up my school group now. Anyway, guys, appreciate you. Till next time, you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, have a good Friday. Whoever's birthday it is today, happy birthday, and keep dream chasing. Peace.